Good evening, Ruskin Enjoyers. Hope you're doing alright. It's time for a profit review. Last week we discussed the Lunar New Year Week 2 2025 Rust Store, and today we're here to discuss the February 6, 2025 Rust Store, that being the release of the Primitive Update. So sit back and relax, I'm going to start yapping. Now, before we proceed, some of you probably don't fully understand the focus of the video. What are we here for? Well, I'll quickly explain. Basically, with every single Rust Store that we see, I will return to it 4 weeks later, just to see how everything turned out. Did everything match up to expectations? And if not, I have to sit here and explain why. And of course, with every single Rust Store, I'm always looking around, trying to make a good consideration for what potentially might be the best investments for the week. Was I correct? And if not, you can hold me accountable. And of course, we'll keep track of the sales progress. We'll discuss what prices we offered when we did the abnormal barders. Did we even buy any of the skins? Cool. Right then, so let's hop over to here and discuss the first initial reaction when I saw this Rust Store. So in the lead up to this, we were definitely questioning, are they going to go are they going to lean in with the gimmick, with the theme, primitive, we're going to get some cool looking night theme skins and whatnot. We were fully well aware that they were going to release a special tier 2 set. We understood that they very likely wouldn't be accepting any tier 2 armor. Lo and behold, that did happen. In terms of not happening, they didn't want it to conflict with the potential sales of their medieval pack that they released with this update. So, okay, fair enough. Not getting that heavy knight tier 2, for example. But overall, yeah, all right then. We've got like Barbarian clothing, awesome looking garage door, night theme skins, a blacksmith set that was from the workshop 2.5 years ago almost. They really pulled out skins that they wanted to match up with the overall theme. And you also had like the heavy knight crossbow there that was on the workshop for almost 5 months. So, okay, cool. They went with that. But I definitely remembered a previous Rust Store. So if I could just quickly, use the time notch here that we have on SCMM.ABP, I just want to remind you that we've had themed updates, force wipes with very interesting looking skins. But as I said, themed, pretty much themed catered like around the whole update and whatnot. So when we saw the release of bikes in Rust, loads of bike themed skins. But you might notice a bit of a problem here. They're all down in price. They never got continuations. That was a bit of a concern. So I'm like, oh, hang on a minute, I've got to remember that. So looking at this, I'm like, okay, you know what? Some pretty interesting looking things here, but maybe things potentially might change. Maybe we'll see some nice potential things happening. But yeah, with big themed updates, when we get Rust Stores like this, you kind of had to be a little bit concerned. Are we actually going to get those continuations if they appear, and will they actually be accepted? So, all right. But still, looking at these skins, there's some pretty cool looking things. Like this head wrap. A lot of people immediately looked at it and thought, we're going to have that hairstyle. However, it was a bit deceptive in terms of, it's not the skin creator's fault, but with like head wraps with transparency, it will make like your head flat. You'll never see it if it's like properly covering your whole head. But this is what happens. But unfortunately, this effect to actually have like the hairstyle working, you'd have to already be bald. And a lot of people just assumed that it would make you bald automatically. No. That guy already didn't have hair. If you had like thick black hair on your character, it would just be like a black plain, just all black, that's it. Yeah, just flat black colour, that's it. So I think a lot of people bought it and probably regretted it. So, okay. Anyway, that looked cool, but again, I think a lot of people didn't realise what that was actually going to do. Now, the Friar clothing was nice. I was hoping to see some more. I thought, maybe potentially see like a skirt, maybe potentially see some like sandals and whatnot. Hey, it's up to the skin creators. I looked at all the weaponry, and I've got to bring this up as well. In the lead up to this update, and we had been looking forward to this for a very long time, we saw commits talk about the primitive update months before the actual release. So we're definitely rubbing our hands and wondering how things might potentially change. And more specifically, for the weapons that are actually going to be prominent in the medieval, the primitive game mode, just to clarify, primitive game mode. So you can't have guns, basically. So what about all the swords? What about all the bows? Are they going to get a lot more usage now? Are they going to get a lot more love? Are they potentially going to start, going up in value from here now? Because there's more usage, therefore more justification to own skins. So if I could just quickly hop over to here and remind you all that I made this video, literally, in the early parts of February 2025. And we're questioning it. We thought, all right, maybe things could work out. But we'll find out as we talk more about these skins. Yes. So, yeah, lots of interesting anticipation. Cool-looking skins were accepted, but would it actually work out nicely? We're definitely questioning it. Also, I haven't even mentioned the AK. That's not medieval theme. It's a cool-looking black AK. And with that appearing, I was like, oh, okay, fair enough. But it's still a very cool, nice, shiny, cool-looking AK-47. And that is actually one of the main reasons as to why I looked at that and immediately thought, you know what, that's probably the best thing to consider investing into. So let's hop over to here and discuss how I approached all the skins in terms of investing. So as I already said, the Black Ops AK47, what makes that special? It's just another AK selling at $3. Well, when it comes to Black AK47s, they tend to perform quite a fair bit better compared to, the average AK. In short, people like them, people appreciate them. Go look at Black Ops Blackout AK47. Even though that it came out years ago, part of the well-established Blackout collection and whatnot, it's always been loved. So when we had alternative options appear, they have also been loved quite nicely. We have an AK-47, that's the highest ever selling AK-47, that being the Ninja AR, that sold almost 45,000 subscribers. A lot of people liked it, a lot of people bought it. And you'd think, with the absolute highest amount of subscribers, that potentially might be suffering or dealing with issues. No, it did not. It's been doing very good over the past year or so since it was accepted. Basically, when times were good, it went up above and went in the positive. When times were bad, it only went down to about negative 20%. So, okay, fair enough. Then we could also bring up the Commando AK-47, which just in the past month of January 2025 rose up in price ever so nicely. So things did work out previously for other black AK-47s. Would this reliably retain its value, or would it still likely go down a fair bit? But towards, as we approach the summertime, or summer 2025, I kind of looked at it and thought, I could see it working out quite nicely. I also forgot to mention Black Diamond, which sold for $4.50 in 2024, and during January time went all the way up to about $7 at one point. And, could that emulate the behaviour? That was kind of what I was expecting. Hoping for, I should say. Hoping. Right, so anyway, it did look appealing, and rarely do I look at an AK and say, you know what, that's actually looking like it's a good investment potentially. So you can be surprised by that. Right, so back over to here, making considerations. I looked at all the skins as well, and I kind of had a pretty positive feeling with the Fryer stuff, but the garage door, I had to talk about it. So this looked amazing. I thought, wow, perhaps this very likely could work out, pretty good in the future. But, how many garage doors have we already had so far in 2025? But surely something like that. I mean, I thought maybe we could start seeing something for every big update in the future from these guys. We'll talk more about that in a bit. But, look, I know as we approach Easter time, around March and April, typically we tend to see the player counts drop off, the interest in skins drop off, and prices tend to reach a new low point. I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest, and I said this back then, that's very likely going down in price. How low will it go? Can't really give you a solid answer, but I fully expect it's not going to retain that $3 price for the foreseeable future until the summertime, and from there, will it actually retain its value? So, okay, looking pretty good. I was optimistic, didn't know how much it was going to sell, but when I first looked at it with the predictions, I was like, oh, actually, hang on a minute, that's selling quite a lot, isn't it? So, all right, we'll have to wait it out. It was abnormal at the time, so, okay, looking pretty good. And as I mentioned, the Fry head wrap and the shirt, that's when I'd start to discuss it. And as I said, a lot of people thought, oh, hang on a minute, if I buy that, I'm instantly going to be bald. No, that wasn't going to be the case. Look at this guy right here. He has brown hair. The top is just brown. So was that actually going to be appealing now? I think, well, back then I was having doubts, let's put it that way. That's what I was trying to say. I don't think everybody was going to be super pleased to find out it wasn't going to be, I don't want to say as advertised, but I think a lot of people mistakenly believed that would happen for them. So, all right, cool. We got that point across. Anyway, so the shirt as well, it would have greatly benefited with some pants and whatnot, but burlap shirts, they tend to work out quite nicely. Don't get a ridiculous amount of them being accepted, and due to that, so many of them in the positive. Could it follow the footsteps of the many skins in the past, or could it be one of the ones that would be an anomaly and go down in price? Ooh. Then I looked at all the other skins, and I was like, you know what? Blacksmith's Tier 3. You are a very big surprise. If we do see continuations, by default, it's going to go up in price. But there's another metallic set. And the skin creators, when I first looked at this, I was like, okay, oh, cool. So who made it? And I saw the one in Vitalik, and I was like, well, hang on a minute. Have they actually made skins recently? And not really. Whilst they appeared for Christmas, they had essentially not done much in all of 2024. So I was like, oh, I don't think we're getting a continuation anytime soon. And seeing that, I was like immediately, ooh, dear. But maybe they saw the skins being accepted and felt reinvigorated and potentially wanted to do a continuation immediately. So, yeah, I kind of wanted to wait and see what I saw over the course of the weekend. Were they going to immediately put out a new continuation, Tier 2, hoodie and pants? It would have been nice, but yeah, okay. I then looked at the Barbarian jacket. That was also looking very impressive. Made by Multi-Ol Hat Boris and Mr. Damned. And in the past, I've seen them produce some pretty cool looking collections that did start off with some interesting choices. But most notably, Heavy Night Collection, just going back over to here, that started off with a jacket. And then it went like hood and pants, tier 3, boots, gloves. And I thought, okay, well, you know what? Maybe things might work out quite nicely. I was feeling optimistic. I know, or rather I knew, that they were going to put out continuations. They are reliable. They always put out consistent work. So I was like, okay, I know they're consistent. I know they're reliable. Let's see how much this sells. Let's see if we do see a continuation fairly quickly. Then I looked at the night sleeping bag. Perfectly fine looking design. But didn't we just have a Black Diamond sleeping bag somewhat recently? Yeah, yes we did. And this immediately is selling for 50 cents cheaper. So I was like, oh. So I did some comparisons. I even looked at the Spreen sleeping bag from the previous year. They're all free sleeping bags that are black and they don't glow in the dark. They all do exactly the same thing. So I was like, oh, huh. So we got like options now for pretty much the exact same thing. Is that going to be okay? It was abnormal. I could wait. I could do the abnormal borders first. All right, fair enough. And then it came to the weapons. And when it came to the weapons, I was like, I really don't know. I need to see what the reaction is to the primitive game mode. So, of course, I already showed you the video back over to here. There was a lot of speculation in regards to what might happen, but we needed to see it happen before we could actually see if everything's going to work out all right. There's a lot of bow skins out there, a lot of crossbow skins out there, a lot of salvage sword skins out there, and not so many longsword skins out there. But the point I'm trying to get across was, if there was increased justification, then yeah. So it was a waiting game, basically. And you can answer this, you know. Have you been enjoying the primitive game mode? Have you been using those bows a lot more? Have you been using the swords a lot more? Have you been enjoying yourself? That's the main thing. Right, so back over to here. With that all said and done, let's now talk about the progress. So, okay, back over to here again. We can see that Black Ops AK47 was selling ridiculously. And then the garage door was also selling ridiculously. Yippee! But yeah, then the Barbarian jacket, like, for a force wipe, this was very impressive, you know. We just about finished post-Christmas with January time, immediately leaning in with February, and I've got to remind you, we saw a record-breaking amount of people playing during January 2025, at the force wipe weekend. When it came to February, almost as strong, like literally almost as strong. We peaked at 232,000 people. So, wait, hang on a minute. Usually February drops off pretty badly. We got a lot of people playing. Well, I mean, it was a big content update, so yeah, yes we did. Right then, so don't be too surprised to see the sales here. But it was a bit concerning. Whilst I was initially interested in some of the skins, because, well, you know, I've just kind of explained myself, interesting designs or potentially beginnings of brand new collections, perhaps, I was like, well, hang on a minute, these are selling a little bit excessively, this might lead to problems. Good thing they're abnormal, those. You know, we do the abnormal borders first. And maybe we should go ahead and talk about that. So, abnormal borders on the night, how were things? So, as I move over to here, I could see literally just the night before, the Black Ops AK47 had 28,000 subscribers, and the Great Siege Garage Door basically also had 28,000 subscribers. Oh dear. And then the Barbarian jacket had 24,500 subscribers, basically. So, okay. Clearly a lot of people like the skins, right? And they actively want to wear and use these constantly, right? Yeah, basically, it looked like there could have been signs of some excessive purchases, and chances are we might see quite a lot of them appearing on Steam markets afterwards, and on third-party sites and whatnot. Like, you really had to hope people actively like the medieval game, primitive game mode, and like the medieval themes and whatnot. Black Ops is its own thing anyway. So, okay, let's now talk about, you know, what prices we suggested. So when it came to the Black Ops AK47, I was like, this is looking as if it's resembling the footsteps of the Black Diamond AK47. Now, I forgot to mention it earlier, but I actually wanted to leave it until after this, where we talk about resembling path of how it potentially might progress. So you'll see everything in a bit, and you'll understand why I saved it until a little bit later. But yeah, that sold a lot. And at $3, we've seen many AK-47s coming out past, and they have done a very bad job of maintaining their $3 prices. Would that resemble more like that, or would that potentially do all right like many other black AK-47s in the past? But at this specific point, the Commando AK had gone down to like a $1.50. And the funny thing was, they were pretty much nearly exact same design. Cool looking sleek black design, useful red aim sight, but one was half price compared to the other. So, yes, I was a bit concerned there. That's why I went with $1.50 to $2.20. I thought to myself, I know the skin creators are actively making more continuations. I get the feeling that potentially might be the interesting black collection for 2025. In the previous year, in 2024, we had Black Diamond and we had Commando. So, okay, you know what, that might be okay, perhaps, but we need to see those continuations being accepted. Right, cool, so point made. Great Siege garage door, you look cool, you look nice, but again, garage doors, we're very likely going to see a lot of them in 2025 compared to the previous year and the year before that. So I was like, okay, well, $3 price, not likely going to hold that up. I looked at it and I thought, you know what, I'm going to do $1.20 to $1.80. I think it could rebound and work out quite nicely in the future, but let's, hope that works out nicely. Hopefully we don't see that many garage doors in 2025. But, after Lunar New Year, the very first Rust door, it wasn't probably going to be okay. But a smart builder can always lead to some success, so understood. Barbarian jacket. I do recall that we did see a continuation appear pretty quickly, but that did sell quite a lot. And were we going to keep up the sales like this throughout the rest of the month, throughout the rest of the year potentially? I didn't think so. So that was a bit alarming. And when it comes to transparent jackets, we've got quite a lot of them already. We just had a Lunar New Year where we had one there, and literally now we got this here. So, okay, awkward. For a $2.49 skin, I thought maybe we are going to follow the footsteps of the Heavy Night collection. Jacket first, clothing after, and then bits and bobs afterwards. So I went with $1.20 to $1.80. I thought, I think we got a pretty good chance of seeing a continuation. Let's hope that happens. Then I looked at the night sleeping bag and I thought, you know what, cool looking design. But I've made the comparisons to both the Black Diamond sleeping bag and the Serene sleeping bag. They're basically the same. If you like the design of the night sleeping bag, all right, fair enough. I'm not going to critique you. No, I'm not going to judge you, is what I should say. But it really did feel like it's going to drop off a fair bit. So that's why I went with 80 cents to $1.30. For a $2 skin, that's all right. When it came to the Fryer head wrap and Fryer shirt, again, I was just questioning it far too much. I wasn't 100% sure. Oh, no, that's wrong. I have skipped ahead too quickly. Blacksmith Tier 3. I went with 50 cents to 60 cents. Basically, the skin creators didn't look active. They didn't make an immediate continuation. It's another metallic set. Literally in 2024, we had like 3 different versions of metallic sets, all silvery and steel. A lot of them didn't exactly hold up super great. And so I looked at that and I thought, I don't think we're seeing a continuation. And I think that's going to drop off pretty badly. And, well, we'll talk about that in a bit. So 50 cents to 60 cents. Then the medieval sword. Yes, a medieval sword that was spelt incorrect, and it still is to this day. I still wasn't sure about the primitive update. I played it. It was fun. It was fine. I wasn't sure if everybody was actively enjoying it, though. And again, your comments, your opinions, I'd like to hear them. Anyway, I wasn't 100% keen that the salvage swords were definitely showing signs of genuine interest. So I went with the safe bet. If I'm not feeling confident, I play it safe. When it comes to weapons and tools, you offer 60 cents to 80 cents. And that's exactly what I did. So, yeah. Right, now I get to talk about Fry head wrap and shirt. Sorry about that, I accidentally skipped ahead. So, when it came to these pieces, again, I wasn't 100% confident. I wasn't 100% sure. So, I went with 50 cents to 60 cents. Now, these are 99 cents. The Tier 3 is $1.99, so you could tell I really didn't have any faith in that. But for these, I was like, well, surely, would see some sort of collection continuation, maybe, right? But there was some hope. I spoke to skin creators as well. They were looking for ideas. They were considering it. That's what I should say. And wasn't totally sure. Sold quite a lot, mind you. 16,000 subscribers and 15,400 here. That is quite a fair bit. But yeah, didn't have the faith. So 50 cents to 60 cents. Didn't have the faith when you talk about Fryer. Heavy Night crossbow. So that had done just about 14,000 subscribers, part of the Heavy Night collection, which wasn't fully complete, but still had quite a lot of skins accepted. Crossbows don't really drop off that badly. Compared to most weapons and tools, it doesn't actually go down below $1. In fact, at that specific point, there wasn't a crossbow below $1. I think the cheapest one at that time was $1.30. So I looked at it and I thought, you know what? If it can't go lower than $1.30, why not just offer 80 cents to $1.20? It looked nice for a bit. I mean, it's not a super flashy skin. It's not a super colourful skin, but it definitely matches up very nicely with the overall theme, and it goes perfectly with Heavy Knight. So, all right, cool. And then we have Oathkeeper bow. Again, with everything I said in regards to the medieval sword, same applied to the bow. Like, if I'm not 100% sure, I play it safe. 60 cents to 80 cents. Because if I end up buying between 60 cents to 80 cents, if they don't go up in price, I can always convert them into metal. So you can always walk away with getting some money, some way, somehow. So that was everything. You can tell I wasn't feeling super confident. And now let's hop over to here and discuss how things are currently. The outcomes. Black Ops AK47 did drop off in price. Am I surprised? Not really. Am I sad? No. I feel like this is probably where it's potentially be at its lowest point from here and now. So let's talk about the progress of the Black Ops collection and start doing some comparisons. We have 3 skins in total so far, and potentially more on the horizon. Version 2s maybe? We shall see. Now, when we saw more skins being accepted, the AK did have a bit of a boost. It did work out quite nicely. You know what? Let's go ahead and take a look at it on Steam Market right now. How many listings are there currently? 87. I look at the actual build-up. It's actually very thin. Yeah, you got a 12 there, and then you got 7. It's 111, 111. It doesn't look like it's that far away from going back up to $3. And the Barders, they're still holding up. But yes, if you offered $2.20, you've bought some of these already. But again, Easter dip, prices are supposed to be low around now. What's this going to look like around the summertime? My hopes are that I think we're emulating the Black Diamond collection. So let's now talk about that. This has essentially followed the footsteps, the path to expectation. What I'm saying is it started off with an AK, got a few weapon skins accepted, then skin creators, they made their clothing and armour around the summertime. When there's a lot of people playing, and they got quite a lot of sales as well, and probably made a lot of profit. I won't be surprised that the skin creators and the Black Ops collection are going to probably try and do the exact same thing. And Facepunch seems more than happy to allow more Black Clothing and Armour collections being accepted. Oh, you're not allowed to make whiteout alternatives. Oh, you're not allowed to make Forest Raiders alternatives. You're not allowed to make Desert Raiders. No. Oh, but Blackout. Oh, yeah, sure. Let's go accept tons of them. I don't know. They just do it all the time. So anyway, point I'm trying to get across is, see that Black Diamond AK-47 right there? For a very long time, it was below, it was about at the halfway point of $4.49. It was always kind of sitting around like $2. But once we reached, post-Christmas, once we reached January 2025, that went all the way up to $7 at one point. Now, of course, it has gone down now, but we're going through the normal period of time which prices drop off. But the amount of people playing at the moment hasn't really dropped off, and this is a big surprise to me because I'm still in the position of expectation where I'm like, is this it? Is this the lowest point it's going to be? Probably. I'm not like trying to be silly or anything. I'm very much under the expectation that I think these are the lowest prices, and from here now, we're just steering towards summertime. I was about to say Christmas time, but the summer is comparable to post-Christmas. I'm not joking. There's going to be a lot of people playing because, kids out of school, summer vacation. So, okay, that makes sense. Also, this year, with how things are lining up, still expecting a jungle update in the summer of 2025. And with something as big as that, some delicious content like that, oh yeah, a lot of people are going to be wanting to jump in for that. I'm still expecting and hoping to see a record-breaking amount of people playing then, so if we're expecting a lot of people playing, don't you think prices in general will improve? And if the skin creators here do end up producing more of this collection, we do end up dabbling into clothing and armor, don't you think the AK would appreciate it? Maybe it might be a little bit awkward until post-Christmas 2026, and then that goes up to $4. We'll see. But I'm not upset. That's fine. Was the Barter suggestion okay? Depends how you feel. Do you feel like you could probably got it for a bit cheaper for the comp low? With the amount I bought, I'm like, you know what? I bought them for $1 cheaper. I'm fine. I'm happy. I'm not going to complain about that. So, yeah, it's probably different compared to what other people think. But, yeah, I can't help but assume that is its lowest price point. And now I look forward to the summertime. So, you got your point made, Hedge. Now let's talk about the garage door. Well then, okay, that happened. What? Oh, God. That went down in price pretty badly. Yes, it did. But there's only 38 of them listed on the Steam market. So this is where it gets a little bit odd. And I can't even bring down... You gonna load up, mate? You broken? Seems a little bit... Oh, there we go. Okay, fine. So, yeah, 1111111111111. Sorry, it's in pound currency. I'm not sure. Why is it in pound sterling? Well, just know that that's basically like $1.20, $1.30. Right, there you go. So, yeah, anyway, so it's a bit broken. So, could this rebound? Yes, there's nothing really stopping it. There's no big fat quantity walls. It's just in a bit of a rut. The Baldur's holding it up at the moment. Doesn't look like it's going to go down below $1. I think this could have an easy turnaround, but people actually got to remember it exists, and I was hoping the skin creators would make more out of this. Now, let me just point this out. We have seen more primitive skins being produced and accepted after this force wipe. So let's just quickly show you the skin creators, because I don't think they've been active. Like, they appeared, made this, and disappeared again. Yeah, I'm not sure what is currently going on. I'm not sure why this has taken forever to load up, but yeah, sometimes things are just a little bit awkward. So anyway, back over to here. It's unfortunate that it went that low, but I was expecting it to go down a price, but I was not expecting it to be that bad. So yes, how many garage doors do we currently have? Well, you know, quite a lot. Quite a lot in general, yes indeed. And we got more. So if we keep seeing tons and tons of garage doors, of course this is going to happen. They're all going to struggle to maintain interest, and they're all going to struggle to go down in price, unfortunately. 185 in total. And just to remind myself, when were they actually introduced? Back in 2017. All right, fair enough. It's not as early compared to many of the other doors, but still, you know, it's quite a lot of doors. Anyway, back over to here. Skin creators, Ebu and Kurama project. So if I could just go over to here. We never really got like a collection continuation. They made one random AK and that's it. Yeah, so not exactly helping it out. Could they do like siege deplorables or whatnot? Yeah, sure, they could definitely build up a collection, but they never bothered. And I'm not sure what's going on, so shrug. Right, let's now talk about Barbarian Jacket. This did get a collection continuation, and yes, it basically matched up to how the Heavy Knight collection started. So, we got the jacket, and then we got the clothing. Wow! Now, the boots, the tier 3 was submitted after this, and we have seen... I haven't seen boots and gloves yet. I don't... Wait, have we? I can't remember. I think I got that mixed up with the Fallen stuff, so don't worry about that. Don't worry, brain. So anyway, tier 3 has also been submitted. Now, I will not be surprised in the slightest if we do see boots and gloves on the horizon. Now, this is just a theme with this specific duo, this specific group of skin creators. All right. I'm still confident we'll be seeing a continuation for Barbarian hoodie and pants, even though it didn't happen with the current Rustor that we see. I'm still expecting it either with the next Rustor or the Rustor after that. Like, I'm not too worried, but I was worried for the jacket. So, in short, that did sell a little bit too much, because when you compare this with the clothing only did 10,000 subscribers. That did 25,000. Oof. Now, when this appeared, yes, it spiked in price, spiked demand, spiked in price, went all the way up to about like $3.50. But there was a lot of them, and when people noticed the price was going up, they sold theirs as well, and then, well, went back down in the price again, didn't it? So, if we were to see tier 3, if we were to see boots and gloves, would it also help this out? Yeah, I'm sure it would. I really do think it would help it out. But by how much? That's a bit debatable. Maybe it'll probably go back up $1 again, we'll see. Maybe it might go back up to evens, we'll see. But there's 15,000 more of these compared to that, and that's definitely a problem for that. When you look at a full collection of clothing and armour, the piece that sells the most tends to be the cheapest because there's more of it in excess, if that makes sense. Like if you want full collections, like how many of them could you make? You'd only be able to make a certain amount, and then all the excess ones, well, there you go. So you understand, and yeah. So if you sold this whilst it was in the positive, feel free to comment below. How much profit did you make, and do you feel happy with that decision? I definitely pointed it out to people that they're probably better off to sell, because I remembered with the Heavy Knight jacket that at one point it went all the way up to $9, and then afterwards went all the way down in price again. Never went up to that high ever, so it's quite unfortunate. But I was like, guys, maybe it might consider selling now whilst you can. And yeah, I sold a few, not enough, not enough. So yeah, all right, fair enough. But yeah, it did spike, but I'm not sure if it's going to spike as strong as it did with the clothing. So we'll see what happens next. Then we have the night sleeping bag, and oh, lo and behold, it's basically matched up to expectation. So yep. Hardly any listings as well. That's a funny thing. I think we talked about it with the previous video. Well, it's happening still. A lot of the skins that have come out somewhat recently don't really have that much quantity, unless they sold really excessively. So, okay, well, could that rebound and go back up in price? I mean, yeah, it's just like 10 sales. There you go, job done. Okay, well, you know what? We're going through a bit of a bad time at the moment, and if this is it at its worst, I'm not that worried. That's fine. Shrug. So, yeah, it's just basically matched up to expectation. And that's like a perfect example of, okay, well, if that is it at its worst, maybe we don't need to worry too much. Wait until the summer, look at it again, then consider making some sales. Fry head wrap. Yeah, it went down. So, okay, funny, novelty idea. People got their laughs, and now they're not really laughing that much anymore, and now it's gone down in price. So, yeah, okay. People enjoyed the joke of it when it came out. You probably bought one for yourself, didn't you? I did. I thought it looked cool. And, I still have it. I'm not upset. But yeah, I didn't think about buying a bunch of them as an investment, and yeah, that was a smart idea. So, did we see a collection continuation? I do recall boots and gloves. No, I recall just gloves. There they are. And that was it. That was the early attempt, and nothing happened. So, yes, we're in this weird spot now. Will we ever see another attempt? I mean, skin creators can easily go ahead and do it, but I think they're preoccupied with other things called Sandbox. So, we'll see what happens anyway. So, yeah, that matched up to expectation, didn't it? Yes. Hopefully it rebounds and goes up in price in the summer, but more pieces would definitely help it out. Definitely help it out. Yes. Blacksmith Tier 3 went down in price. Skin creators, nowhere to be seen, unfortunately. So they didn't wake up, and I decided to avoid it, and that was a very smart idea. Now, has it gone all the way down to the suggested price? No, not really. It's off by about 10 cents. This one is a bit closer. But yeah, I didn't even do a buy order. I just thought, what's the point, Oh, yippee, I bought this for 75 cents. Now I can sell it for 89 cents and get a couple pennies profit. Is that really worth the hassle? Not for me, so I ain't bothered with that. So yeah, did you buy any of these? Or did you buy them with a buy order? Are you happy that you got to try and sell them now for pennies profit? Feel free to comment below. And now it's come to this. The weapons. So yeah, I made that video talking about primitive weaponry, and here we are. And did anything improve? I will sit here and say this. For all three of these items, all their skins definitely got improved buy orders, but the prices are still down. So with the crossbows, let's talk about that very quickly. That is not doing too bad, and with only 15 listings, well, you shouldn't be surprised, should you? Again, it's a bit of an odd spot where these skins just don't have that many listings, but the barders aren't really showing that much interest. But the sales, they aren't going down anymore, as you can see here. It seems to have stopped around here, and now it's starting to climb up again. So what do you say? I think we've seen the worst of it, and it probably and hopefully might rebound. We'll see. Let's look at the bows. So, okay, you should also consider looking at all the bow skins, Hedge, and it's still basically the same thing. A few of them are in the positive, most of them pretty down, but they're not down super bad. So, yeah, with bow skins, you used to see so many of them, like barely around $1, but now you see quite a lot of them at like $1.30. Is this good? I mean, it's better, but it's not like great. Yeah, I know it sounds incredibly silly, but it's not that bad, but it probably could have been a lot better, maybe. Anyway, looking at the barders, better than what it used to be a year ago. Is this good? Feel free to comment below, because I'm kind of like, So, yeah, during January, I sold quite a lot of bows to buy orders, because, again, there was a lot of speculation, a lot of anticipation, but those barders are still around. So, yeah, clearly there's more interest, but not really enough to keep those prices going up and staying in the positive. Medieval sword. If you ever get your name changed, you're going to have to redo a bard on that, by the way, if that happens. But if you ever get your name changed, yes, maybe we might see more people actually being able to find it, because I don't think everybody's fully aware that you've got to spell it that way, when that's incorrect. So anyway, only 30 listings. Barder's going all up to $1.30. It's an improvement, but that's not $2.49. So, yeah, I played it safe. Was I correct to do that? I mean, kind of, but you didn't offer enough, and prices have improved, and other barders are there at higher prices. So yeah, perhaps in the future now we have to approach this a little bit differently, and maybe I should make a sequel to that primitive weapons update video and whatnot. Okay, well, here you go, that's fine then. So, a bit weird to talk about there. There's improvement, it's just not as much as we hoped for. So, okay, there you go. Cool. So those are the outcomes. Overall, quite a few things did match up to expectation. We are expecting that they are now reaching their low points at the moment, and now we hope for a nice summer ahead of us. Hopefully. Keep an eye on the commits. Lots of talk in regards to jungle update content. They have quite literally referred to it as jungle update as of now. So that seems to be the focus. It's not like they're focusing that much more. And now let's talk about the very next restore, which was Valentine's. We were hoping to see some very interesting skins, because Valentine's submissions went all the way up to 220 in total. 220 submissions were put down. And it kind of got to the point where we're like, oh, could we potentially see 2 Valentine's restores? Yeah. So immediately we're like, okay, so we're just going to be expecting a whole bunch of pink stuff and whatnot. Do people really care about that? Well, that'll be the discussion for next week. So overall, did you make any buy orders? Did you make any purchases? I didn't buy any of the skins, but I did buy a few with buy orders and whatnot. And, well, as I said, in regards to that, I'm still optimistic. In regards to that, I really hope things work out. So yeah, that's it. That's a wrap. Thank you very much for watching me. I greatly appreciate it. Best of luck with you and your investments. And from here on now, let's hope and see we get some, some improvement. But will April potentially see things go a little bit lower, or will it just stop, stagnate a bit, and then gradually enter March where prices go higher and higher, and then June, July, August, nice high prices? That's the hope. So that's it. Stop talking. Okay, bye.